Okay, so I'm gonna start again. I think if I remember correctly, last time we kind of started Parak Hey. So we're gonna start again, okay? So we're talking about the two perspectives of Hashem's presence, right? Hashem's outside of the worlds and surrounding the world, and Hashem filling the worlds, right? Avalim kol zeh, with all of this put together, hein hein v'roisav. This is the power of Hashem and the roisav and His awesomeness is Baruch Shmoi she'afal pikein, that even though He is complete oneness, tzimtzem kaviyochel kvodes Baruch, He was able to tzimtzem constrict Himself sheyuchali motzei inyan mitzius elomes, in order to be able to found the existence of the worlds, v'koichos and powers, v'briyos and creatures, v'nivroim, various creations, u'mechodoshim that were completely new. B'vchinos shonim, with various levels, v'inyonim mechulokim, in different aspects. V'chilukim mikoymes shonim, and also various places, mikoymes kadoshim, holy places, v'tahirim, pure places, u'lehefech, and the opposite, me'em v'tanofim, unholy and dirty. And that is from the perspective that is from our perspective. Hainu shehasagasenu eino maseges b'chush, because our grasp only grasps with our sense rak inyan mitziyusum kamoishehem nirim, their existence as they appear to us. Shal pi zoisa bechina nivnu kol sidrei chiyuv hanagasenu, that according to this understanding, the understanding of all these varieties and all these different layers and levels, this is based on this mapping system, right? Based on this framework, nivnu were built kol sidrei chiyuv hanagasenu, were built all of the orders and of obligations of our practice. Right, meaning all of the mitzvahs and halachas and all the things that we have to go by. Do this here, don't do this here. Follow this, this reason applies over here, but it doesn't apply over there. All of these different layers and differentiation, right? That can only be applicable in the world of levels and varieties. Right, if everything is one, everything is there, so there's no mokum. Every day is Shabbos, or no day is Shabbos. There is no difference. But that's what we are commanded to follow according, from Hashem Himself. It's a law that cannot be transgressed. And from this perspective, this is how the Chazal compared Hashem to the neshama that fills the body. Hashem is like the soul of the entire universe. That even though, that just like in a person, you cannot recognize the neshama, you can only see the guf, you can only see the body. And even though the neshama fills the entire body, Hi bevechinas hester le'enei basar. It is hidden from the eyes of flesh, right? V'nigleis le'enei seichel, but it is revealed to the eyes of seichel, right? Meaning conceptually, you can deduce its existence. You can say that there's a live human being. There's got to be a neshama that's making him tick, right? Cain, similarly, kifi hasagasenu hanigles, also according to our intellectual grasp, the revealed intellectual grasp, we see, we can sense, we can understand the worlds and all of the creations. And we understand that Hashem must be hidden but completely diffused throughout the inner workings of all of these creations, to give them life, to sustain them, and to upkeep them. Right? Kinyan anashama shemispashetes umisptateres b'pnimius kol prote chelkei evrei aguf la'achayois. Just like the neshama that is mispashet, that is diffusing, and umistateres and hiding b'pnimius in the inside of all the particulars of organs of the body to give it life, right? So just like the neshama gives life and sustenance to the body, and therefore we recognize it, just not, we don't see it, we don't know what it looks like, we cannot, it does, because it doesn't look like anything, it's not a physical thing, but we know it, whatever it is, we understand that it's there. Similarly too, there's the world, we don't see the creator in the world, right? But we know that he is there because that's how, because otherwise how is the world functioning? So who's pulling all the strings? So the strings, we presume that there are strings that Hashem is pulling in order to make the world run. Otherwise, why would it run by itself? Why would it come together by itself? How would it get created by itself? So we deduce on a simple intellectual level that there's got to be a creator who's pulling these strings, even though we don't see him. So that's the neshama and the guf comparison. And all of the names and the titles about Torahim and the descriptions and the character traits, all of his barach that we attribute to Hashem, shematzinu b'Torah Kadosh, that we find in the Torah Kadosh, kulam medabrim mitzad zoisa bechina. These are only applicable from this perspective, kifishahu mitzidenu, which is from our eyes. V'sidrei chiyuv hanagoseinu, and from based on our levels of practice, of Torah practice. Shehu mitzad his chabrusoy isbaruch halaha oilomois, which is only from the perspectives of Hashem's attachment to the worlds, meaning to the reality of the worlds. Shemitzidom, which is from them, ve'al yedeim nimshach kol hashinuyim shel protei sidrei anhoga kulam kamosh nizbar leil b'shar beis. Right? So we say, over here Hashem saved somebody from some destruction. Hashem was kind over here. Over here Hashem struck somebody with the lightning. Oh, so Hashem's midas hadin played out over here. But in reality, Hashem's essence cannot be split into kindness and judgment. Hashem is one. It's all one aspect, right? So this that we discuss, midas hadin, midas harachim, these whole descriptions are only applicable within the world of differentiation, not within the world of pure oneness, right? So that's it. That's what it's written in Hakdomas Hatikunim Anal. The Esther Spheros, the Atzilos, that the 10 spheros that are in the world of Atzilos, Malka Behoin, the king is in them. Ihu, he, the Garmei, and his essence, Chad Behoin, is one in them. Inun V'chayehoin, Chad Behoin. Him and they and their life is one in them. Which is not the case in the 10 spheres of the world called the Bria. The love inun v'iu chad b'hoin, because they, the spheres and him, and meaning Hashem, are not in complete unity. Meaning they're more, these midos are more like independent, not independent, but more of separate entities. Love inun v'garmeihoin chad b'hoin. It's not them and their essence is one in them, whatever that means. Again, v'ilas al koila hu nochis be'eser spherin da'atzilas. And on top of and above all of them is Hashem descends into the worlds of Atzilus. V'nohir be'eser spheres de Bria. Then he lights up the 10 spheres of Bria, u'be'eser kitos de Malachaya, and the 10 groups of the Malachim, u'be'eser galgala de Rekia, and the 10 constellations or whatever you want to call them of the heavens. V'lo yishtani b'chol asar, but he is not changed in any of those places. Right? So we see, so he says, Romaz lebeisa b'chinas in al kamuvur. So we see in this piece of Zohar is also kind of hinting at these two aspects. That on one hand, it starts out at Atzilus, there's perfect oneness, and then there's as you go lower into the worlds, there's more differentiation. But then it ends off with the phrase "V'lo mishtana b'shum makom," but there is really no change in any of the place. So is there a change or isn't there a change? So the answer is there's two perspectives. There's two perspectives. There's a perspective of change and there's a perspective of no change. The way I was thinking about it is that I mean, you can give you many examples. Let's say it's a fast day, right? I'm hungry. So, do I want to eat or don't I want to eat? Right? Let's say you're hungry on a fast day. I ask you, do you want to eat or don't you want to eat? Well, it depends which perspective you want to talk about. There is the simple perspective, I'm hungry, I want to eat. But then there is another perspective where I am fasting and I want to fast. Right? So it's the same thing that's happening. There's the same sensations, but you could look at the same concept